Hello and welcome back to another episode of Moon Catching with Erica. I am Erica, and today we are talking about how tracking my cycle helped me radically change and increase my fertility and help me get pregnant. And of course, I want to share with you how it can do the same for you. So stay tuned. I wanted to basically talk to you today about the easiest way I can say is how cycle tracking helped me get pregnant. Hi, thank you for joining. Thank you for everyone who is joining live. So I want to just talk about how cycle tracking helped me get pregnant and helped me change my fertility. And I, of course, want to tell you that it can do the same for you. So I'm just going to drop one quick little comment and just pin it here. So do you think tracking can help change your fertility? Hi, thanks for joining. All right, I'm posting my little comment and I'm going to pin it. I would love anyone to drop in a comment below. I want this to be a conversation if possible. You can ask me any questions. So today we're going to be basically talking about how cycle tracking helped me change my fertility and help me get pregnant. And of course, I want to talk to you all about how it can do the same for you, how this is one really important tool in the whole fertility toolbox that you can and should be using. So, I definitely want to know, are you tracking your cycle? Do you track your cycle? Are you convinced that you need to track your cycle? Are you someone who maybe has started to try, but you're like, WTF, I don't know what any of this is, what's going on? And you're basically just like, not sure of the hows and the whys and the what you're looking for and all that. So if that's you, then you're in the right place. And if you are on the fence about tracking and you're wondering, how does something like tracking my cycle, I'm trying to get pregnant, okay? I don't have time to be in my app and putting all this stuff in there. If you're someone who's unsure of how those two connect and correlate, again, you're in the right place because this is what works for me. This is how I have helped my clients. So I'm basically here to be the ambassador, okay? The spokesperson, the ambassador for everything fertility and cycle tracking. And I basically have tracked my cycle for years, but when I really, really, really started tracking and, was consistent, tracking most days, tracking most pieces of my cycle, that's when I found the most information. That's when I found the most benefit. And I was able to pinpoint and highlight weaknesses, basically. Weaknesses in my cycle. Hi, thank you for joining. Stick around. We're talking about how I use cycle tracking to change my fertility and get pregnant and how you can do the same. So I also was able to map out my cycle. I was also able to map out my hormones and figure out, okay, what were the highs? What were the lows? Was I, close to the norm, or was I really low? And you'll figure out in a minute where I was. So I was able to find out what was going on with my estrogen and my progesterone, which basically when you take that information, you can, tease out and pinpoint, okay, what does this mean that is going on? What's going on with my egg health? What is going on with my follicle development? What's going on with ovulation? How does my progesterone look? How is the length of my cycle look? How is my implantation window? Building Roof says, I started tracking my cycle a year ago, but don't really know how to interpret it. You are in the right place. Yes, thank you. Because these tools are here. Hi. These tools are here, and cycle tracking is such a great tool, but we don't always, the apps are great, kind of. They give you a little bit of information, but you can't interpret it, the way that you need to. And I always tell my clients, like, this is for you. So I always make them turn off the predictions and put it on manual. Just encourage them to take control of it, because it's like you're collecting all of this data. It's like if you have like a bank account and you are like tracking your budget, like, I spent this there and this there and this here, but you never totaled it or tallied it. It's kind of like the same thing. Like you're tracking it, but you're not doing anything with that information. So yes, absolutely. I hope that I say something today. We're going to get into the hows and the whats of cycle tracking, like a really quick abbreviated version, right? Of the hows and the whats of cycle tracking. So, like I said, a little fast tutorial of how you can get started and find out what's going on. So, let me know. Anyone else care to share? Are you tracking, or even let me know what app you're using? Actually, that'll be interesting to know because there are so many. I have my favorites, of course. But I'll be curious to know. Is anyone else tracking their cycle, or not scared to, but kind of scared to track their cycle? Let me know. So if you don't know this already, a healthy cycle is the best, dare I say only, way to get pregnant naturally. The only way for you and Bae to go and do it the old fashioned way and make a baby the old fashioned way. Or even for someone who is same sex couple, maybe you or mama who are doing this by yourself, even if you're doing like an at home or in home insemination, tracking your cycle is the only and best way to make sure that you even stand a chance, right? Because it's kind of like you're like flying blindly if you don't track your cycle. You're just kind of hoping for the best, which is what we were taught. Yeah, just go. When you're ready to have a baby, you can just go and have a baby. It's no big deal. But now we're realizing that our aunties and our whoever's kind of set us up, right? So checking your cycle and understanding what you're looking for or looking at is a non-negotiable for even the option, even the possibility of using your own natural cycle to get pregnant, naturally without having to use assisted methods. So if you are looking at your cycle, you'll be able to find red flags. You'll be able to compare. You'll be able to see, okay, these are the shifts. These are the things that are changing. So each day, from day to day, from one day of bleeding until your next day of bleeding, is needed to prepare your body to become pregnant and to sustain that pregnancy. Each day of your cycle is very important and very needed, So if we are kind of only paying attention to those first, let's say you bleed for 5 days, those first 5 days of bleeding, but your cycle is like 30 days, what the heck is going on in those last 25 days? We have no way of knowing. A lot of people track their periods. A lot of people still call it their period, right? So I'll be very curious to know, are you tracking the whole thing, the whole cycle, not just your period, right? And all this helps you, again, let you know how pregnancy friendly, pregnancy ready, fertility robust your body is, your cycle is, and how all this is going to go, right? So the question then becomes, say you're trying, right, and you're not getting pregnant. Is it that it's not working? Like, oh, I'm trying and it's just not working. Or is it impossible for it to work? As in the pieces aren't there, the puzzle, the chain, all the things that need to happen, is something missing that's preventing it from happening, from you getting pregnant, right? So is it not working? It's one thing if like, I put it together the right way and this thing is just not working, then that's a conversation to be having. But if the pieces were never put together and it's like, I don't know what's going on, it's not working, it's like it was never gonna work. So this is why we need to track. We need to see, which side are you on? Are you on this should be working W2F, or is it we need to get some things in order and reorganize this and get it to go, right? Okay, so let's talk about the what and the how, right? So cycle tracking has a few components, but today we're just going to talk really quick about like the best and I hate to say most important because they're all important, right? But okay, the most important. Tracking your cervical mucus or cervical fluid, cervical discharge, whatever cute name you want to give it, but it's mucus, right? Your cervical mucus as well as your BBT, your basal body temperature. And I can definitely, well, I'll just say, okay, so I was going to say I can, explain what those things are if you don't know, but just in case you don't know, your cervical discharge is, and we'll get into it too, but your cervical discharge is the discharge that should happen right a few days after you're bleeding that should last into ovulation. Your BBT or your basal body temperature is your overnight kind of lowest temperature that your body reaches when your body is at rest. So of course you want to track this first thing in the morning to see while I was asleep for, a good 6, 7 hours, whatever it was, or minimum, basically a minimum of like 4 or 5 hours. What was my lowest body temperature? And that's a reflection of what's happening in your cycle. It's a reflection of your thyroid, it's a reflection of where you are in your cycle, all those good things. And you need to really be tracking both of those things because your cervical mucus is lets you track your fertile window, and your fertile window is your only shot of getting pregnant each month. Those few days, it can be up to like 6 days, basically. Your only shot of getting pregnant every cycle is that 6-day fertile window that is determined kind of by, or kind of not determined, but it kind of, your cervical mucus helps you find where you are if you are in your fertile window, right? And tracking your BBT lets you find issues in your cycle. So they're both kind of really important. So I can't really even pick like my favorite. Is should you only track, or like if you had to pick one, would you only pick cervical mucus? Would you only pick BBT? I wouldn't be able to pick. I think maybe I would pick cervical mucus because even if you get lost in your cycle and you're not tracking your BBT, you don't know what day it is, your cervical mucus still tells you, okay, all right, babe, today's the day, tonight's the night. So at least that gives you your chance of getting pregnant, right? So maybe cervical mucus is like my favorite girl. And real quick before I get into the what's in the hows of how to track those two things, my favorite app that I used prior to getting my Temp Drop armband was the Kendara app. And it was the best one that was free. Now there's some that may be a little better, but you had to pay for them. And I wasn't really like trying to do that because they're all very useful. So it's not like feel like I was missing out on, oh, I'm just gonna, slum it and get this thing that's free. It was still very, very useful. And then now that I have the Temp Drop, and this is what I provide to all of my clients, is a free Temp Drop, because that's how I think just freaking amazing this thing is and useful it is. But the Temp Drop is just something you wear, and it passively collects your temp overnight. So you can wake up in the morning and just go. I used to take my temp orally, it will be like, oh my God, I have to pee so bad. But you have to wait. You have to sit there and wait. And I recommend like 10 minutes of warming it up before you actually take your temperature. That's like 10 minutes of waiting before you can get up, right? And then you have to question, okay, I co-sleep with my daughter. Did she wake me up too many times? Did I actually have to go get up and pee like an hour ago, and now my body heated back up and this is in my lower temp? So all of those things kind of are avoided, if you will. I can never remember to take my temp. See? First, we weren't remembering to take our pills. Now we're not remembering to take our BBT. Yeah, so it's just so seamless. And because I am here to today tell you how freaking important it is to take your BBT, it's kind of worth the money. Like it's technology, it's cute, it's fancy. Yeah, you can just buy I think mine was like $7 at Target. This little cheap little oral thermometer, or you're gonna forget, right? So by the way, before I forget, Temp Drop is having a Valentine's Day sale. I checked this morning to see if it was still going, and it was. So I know today's the 15th, but the thing is still on sale. So it's on sale, and then I am an affiliate, and so you can have a code if you want to use my code, an extra 10% off, and it's like $150. Don't quote me on that exact like pennies, but like $150, $152, something like that. And it's normally like $199. So yeah, it's on sale. So I would say get it for real, get it now. That's what I need to do. Need to plan for the final baby. That's what I'm telling. I mean, listen. And no other point in our lives do we just like wing things, right? Why do we be winging this whole getting pregnant thing? Don't get me started. Yes, plan. There's nothing wrong with having a plan. In fact, it could possibly save you a lot of heartache, because say you're trying and you're not sure what's going on. And of course, they tell you have to wait for 6 months if you're over 35, a year if you're under 35. And then you have to wait 3 miscarriages before they will really be interested in like running panels on you. So yeah, Why not plan? And I'm telling you, like, I'm here to tell you the cycle tracking piece of it is like vital because first of all, it's essentially free, right? It's a few bucks, right? But you're not going in getting these blood draws, and it's at your fingertips every single day. It's at your fingertips. Is you can use it all the time. Um, Kalani Renee, I may have not said all the syllables in that. Trying to conceive between August and October for nice birth weather. See, this is what I call a plan. Okay, you're talking about what temperature to birth in. So some kind of way we always conceive around the same time. So my this baby will be due a week after Reagan was due. Reagan came early, but a week after Reagan's due date is this baby's due date. So apparently this is what we need to do. And that happened before in another pregnancy that I lost. The babies were going to be timed around the same time. But anyway, yes, someone is thinking here. Okay, I just be out here like, come on, baby, let's try. So hold on one second. Where was I? We're talking about planning. Some of the temp drop. Okay, so yes, let me know if you want to get that through my affiliate link. Again, like I said, it's normally $200, but it's on like deep sale if you use the code Mooncatching. They always have sales, so this is not like a get it now for real type of thing. They always have sales, but you definitely want to wait for the sale because it helps cut down. I think you can use your flex spending and all those type of things. All right, that's my little commercial thrown in there. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. I feel like I'm talking fast, but I always try to make these videos like 30 minutes. So let's start with cervical mucus, right? Because like I said, if I had to choose a favorite child, it will be cervical mucus. I like dim my eyes and now they're bothering me. So cervical mucus is sperm's best friend. I think that's the best way I can say that. And that's because it provides nourishment and it feeds the sperm because it's kind of like, I mean, I don't mind getting graphic, but I'd like try not to, but it's kind of like a handoff. If you and your boo are doing the do, he's releasing his sperm and kind of handing it off to you. Like, all right, here you go. Here's the ball, right? And is now your job. So, the sperm and the semen is nourishing the sperm, but then once it enters your body, it's your job to nourish the sperm and protect it from your vagina, which is very acidic, because of course we don't want infections and stuff all the time, right? So your vagina is very acidic, so you have to protect the sperm and nourish the sperm and actually give it somewhere to swim. When it's drier, it literally has nowhere to swim because the semen is only a few milliliters, liquid. So it just has nowhere to go, right? Nowhere to swim into. So your cervical mucus is like the exchange, right? It's like the chaperone. So it gives it a place to live, it gives it a place to swim in. And then even your body can store sperm for a few days, up to 5 days, in fact. So during that time when you're waiting for ovulation, your body can hold on to the sperm and kind of, keep it safe. But then your body knows, okay, ovulation is coming in a few days, and it kind of pushes the sperm out and say, okay, go get to your business and go swim up to the egg or towards the fallopian tube where the egg will be, right? I mean, it's insane how intelligent all this stuff is. It's kind of like it's sentient and it's aware. But so these are all the jobs of the cervical mucus, right? And hold on, it's saying poor connection. I'm gonna keep talking, but feel free to let me know if the audio went out or anything. So these are all the jobs of the cervical mucus, right? And if you're tracking, you want to be looking for. So again, if you're using an app, you probably see there it says sticky, then it says probably creamy, and then it says like egg white. Sometimes it even has one that says wet. That's when it gets all confusing. And I would love for you to be like, I'm an expert on cervical mucus. I know exactly the difference between all of them, but that's not like the most important. I would say just divide it into 2 or maybe 3. Is it none? Are you dry? Are these a dry day? No, there's nothing there. Or is it some white substance, no matter the texture, whatever? Is it white? So if anything white, you can just classify it whatever you want to click the tab. You want to click sticky or creamy, it doesn't really matter. It matters, but it doesn't. Like, we can talk about that later. What really matters is the day or days that it gets stretchy and clear. Those are the egg white days. Those are the most fertile friendly days of cervical mucus. So if you want to just track two, you can lump sticky and creamy up into one. You can click whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter. But you need to for sure know which ones are the egg white days. The stretchy, that's why it's called mucus. It looks like snot, right? Stretchy, clear egg white days. That's like the best. That's when you know you're most fertile. That's when you know ovulation is right around the corner. Okay, I have notes so that I don't miss anything. Okay, and again, your days of your cervical mucus mark your fertile windows. If you're dry, remember what I said, it's the handoff. If you're dry, there's nowhere for that sperm to go. So make sure you are trying your best efforts on the days that you have cervical mucus, right? If not, that sperm most likely is going to die. It won't survive anyway, right? And then you probably are too far away. Sperm can survive up to 5 days, right? If you're not having cervical mucus, you may be too far away from when you're ovulating anyway, because normally right before ovulation, things get juicy and wet and stretchy, and like your body, it's like all planned out, people. Okay. It's all figured out already. We just have to learn the rules and play by the rules. Okay. The rules are right before you ovulate, it should get stretchy and stretchy and clear. All right. I have a little co-host. Yes, baby. Okay. I'll open it. Okay. So the other days you want to make sure that, okay, up there. You're welcome. The other days is you want to make sure that the other thing is that you want to make sure that you're not missing the boat, right? You know, have you ever heard the saying, no, on time is late. Where does it go? On time is late, early is on time, and on time is don't even bother. And that's definitely how the world of ovulation go. On time is it's you're almost late already. You need to be early. Early is the only way to catch this thing because the way all this timing works, right? So that's why you need to know and start tracking and know your expected window. You're not going to know the first month of the track. You probably will get an idea by the second, third, or fourth month, right? Because you can, piece it all together. Like, okay, the past 2 months in a row, I had 3 days of egg white cervical mucus and I ovulated on day 16. That's when you kind of piece the pieces together, right? So you'll know this month coming up, hey, I'm starting to get egg white. That means I probably have 2 more days left. That means if today's the 13th of my cycle day 13, I'm going to ovulate in a few days. That's what all this tracking is about, getting data, getting the info. And someone said earlier, I think it was, I'm not going to find it, but someone said earlier, she's tracking, but she doesn't know what she's looking at. And I 100% understand that because you're like, okay, what do I do with it? How can I make this useful? So that's what I'm trying to help you guys with. And again, this is how this is what I did, right? I was tracking, I was doing the same thing. I was tracking and it's like I knew better, but life was life and it just kind of got away from me and I was just not paying attention. And these things just started slowly, my cycle got shorter by a day here, shorter by another day. And I'm like, one day I snapped out of it. I was like, girl, are you even paying attention? The answer was no, I wasn't. Okay, so again, your fertile window, the days when you have cervical mucus are the best and only days to that sex can lead to pregnancy. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions about any of that. And I will answer them as best I can. Okay, so now BBT. So BBT is like the trickiest one, right? Actually, I don't know. It just depends because it's just you just get the temp. It's the easiest to track, like because you just take your temperature and you read the number and you put it in your phone versus the confusion of your cervical mucus. Is it this? Is it that? So yeah, maybe okay. So BBT is the easiest to track, but the hardest to interpret. Cervical mucus is the easiest to interpret, but the hardest to track. I just had like a little epiphany there. So if you feel me on that, you are not alone. That is definitely true. So BBT falls under the category if you or helps you understand the whole if you're late, don't bother concept. because once your basal body temperature shifts, which is why we're tracking all of this, right? Once your basal body temperature goes up and shifts, the window is closed. Your chances over. Your chances are over. You missed the train. You missed the boat for this cycle to have sex and get pregnant this cycle. So tracking your BBT tells you where you are in your cycle, right? It basically tells you, have you ovulated yet or not? And if your BBT hasn't changed yet, okay, I still have a few more days. Maybe my cervical mucus is being a little confusing, but my BBT, my basal body temperature hasn't shifted yet, so I have no reason to believe that I've ovulated yet. I had no idea to track mucus. Oh, girl, yes. Yes. Okay, wow, sorry. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I can't say that enough. I had no idea to track mucus. And this is so helpful. I have to jump off to a meeting. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, yeah, definitely. This will be on replay, ladies. I'm pretty sure there's no gentlemen. Ladies, this will definitely be on replay. Yes, I'm trying to give you all the things, right? A quick little um concise little tutorial. Maybe it's not as concise as it could be because I like to talk. So where was I? Tracking your BBT. Let you know if you ovulated or not. Let you know if you're still in your fertile window or not, right? And I know we're all smart here, so it definitely is easy to figure out if you haven't, if you're still confused or you feel like, ugh, this is just a lot of work. You can do this. Trust me, okay? I will definitely be able to help you. This is how I make little videos and send them to my clients and help them kind of, give them a visual of their chart and help them figure all this stuff out, right? So, if you're tracking your basal body temperature every day, or at least every other day, and you see that you have cervical mucus, you will know that you should expect your temp to shift in a few days. And the thermal temperature shift is the day and the thing in your cycle that separates pre-ovulation from post-ovulation. That dot on your chart, on your temp chart, changes and lets you know, just like that, I'm in a new phase of my cycle. I'm in my post-ovulatory phase, aka the luteal phase, aka when it's time for progesterone to shine, aka the implantation window. This is what tracking BBT tells you. Okay, I have another word for you. If you are smart, you are intelligent, you can handle this. The cover line. This is that line that you may see on your charts that splits. If you use Kandara, it has it. If you use Temp, it has it. I don't know what app you're using. But this is a line that splits your pre-ovulatory temperatures that are lower, low, right? So like 97s, whatever, high 97s, from your post-ovulatory temps that may be in the like low 98s. You're not like gonna have a fever. It's not like 100. It's not that. It's just maybe like a degree, right? And there's a line that can go inside your chart, your temps, and kind of help. It's just a visual. It really is all it is. It has a visual to help you see where the split happened, where the thermal shift happens, right? Now, if you are tracking your basal body temperature, it allows you to confirm that you ovulated. You can be like, I'm pretty regular. You can be that girl all you want, but there's no way to be for certain, for sure, what day you ovulated or that you did in fact ovulate if we don't track temperatures and we don't see that temp shift. I guess you can take the pee strips and all that, but I don't really like talking about that stuff. I'm not against them, but it's just, anyway, I shouldn't have brought it up. It's extra, whatever. I don't like them. I don't like them for everybody. Let me pick my words a little more carefully. I don't like them for everybody. So you can have that on and you may put it in for you, or you can change its manual and you can do it for yourself. This is because you want to have control. You want to be in control of your cycle. You want to know what's going on in your cycle. You don't want an app to tell you that you ovulate, because it is also just freaking guessing. If you're not confirming with Temp, it's just a guess. And I'm not trusting my chances of having a baby to no app. I'm just not doing that. So if you are comfortable, and I want you to be comfortable, start, get more comfortable and turn off the predictions in your app, right? And so this lets you know about something called luteal phase defect. And you may have heard this before, that a lot of women suffer from luteal phase defect. In fact, a lot of women suffer from anovulation, where they don't ovulate and they skip ovulation and they have huge gaps between their bleeding days, and who knows what's going on, right? These are things that you can always pick. I mean, you probably know that something's going on if you haven't had a period in like 2 months, but these are things certainly you can pick up if you were tracking your cycle too, right? Because it's all about getting the data. Like, I can track all day long, but what does it mean? How do you interpret this information, right? So BBT helps you know that you ovulated, and it helps you know whether or not you have a luteal phase defect. Now, if you have a luteal phase defect, the day from ovulation until your next bleed will be less than 12 days, definitely less than 10 days, right? This means that you have a very short implantation window. So you and Bay can be doing the do as perfectly on schedule. His sperm can be as healthy as whatever. Your eggs could probably be as healthy as whatever, which it may not be, because these things kind of go together, that you have a issue with your egg health and follicle health and an issue with your luteal phase, but it's possible, right? But then your body isn't holding on to the cycle long enough for the egg to implant. So the luteal phase defect is kind of sabotaging you. It's kind of screwing you every month. You can lose a pregnancy before it even begins. The egg could have been perfectly fertilized, and it may have been making its way from the fallopian tube down to the uterus, but your cycle started before things could ever really get off popping, right? So, like I said, this is just supposed to be a quick little hit it really quick tutorial on at least those two things: basal body temperature tracking as well as cervical mucus tracking. And like I said, you don't have to be perfect at it right now, but you should at least be tracking both. You should at least start tracking your temp with an oral thermometer. If you want the wearable temp drop thermometer, grab yours now. My favorite apps again are Kendara for free. Temp drop, the app is also for free, but obviously it goes with the armband, right? So if you're struggling to get pregnant, you don't know why it's not working, and you're not tracking your cycle, that doesn't make sense. I say that with love. That doesn't make sense. You're doing yourself a huge disservice by wanting this thing. Someone, we were talking about, the whole planning part of it. You want this thing, you want to get pregnant, you want to have a baby, but you're just kind of just trying, and you're just kind of winging it without nailing down red flags and inconsistencies and weaknesses. That's another word I call it too, like a weakness in your cycle that is kind of like there's a gap, like this is the problem right here. Oh, your cycle's not long enough, or your eggs are ovulating too quickly, or you're not ovulating, because you can bleed without ovulating. So you wouldn't even know that you have an issue if you have a period, but you aren't ovulating, which is possible. And it doesn't give you a chance to track what's going on. Okay, the month that my ovulation was really late was the month that I traveled, and that tends to happen a lot. Whenever I travel, I don't ovulate, or I haven't really been taking good care of myself. I haven't been drinking a lot of my water, haven't been eating very well, and my cervical mucus is dry. You can't even start to pinpoint those lifestyle, health, whole body issues that are going on. Stress. Yeah, my job, I have this really stressful project, and every quarter when I have this project, my cycle gets all out of whack. You won't be able to kind of put those things together. How would you know if you're not ovulating? Okay, it looks like you just joined Melanin McKay Davis. But I'll give you a 2-second answer, but be sure to watch the whole video. You would know that you're not ovulating if you don't see a thermal shift, a temperature increase on your while you're cycle tracking. You know what I'm trying to say. So this is what we're talking about today. Why cycle tracking is the best and only way. And I mentioned that that was one thing that I had to do when I started really, really looking at my chart. I saw that my egg health was poor, my progesterone was poor, my luteal phase, my implantation window was short, my estrogen levels were low. I was all jacked up. Okay, so if you're not ovulating, you will be able to see that if your temperature doesn't shift on your when you track your basal body temperature. Be sure to watch this whole thing because that was just like the quickest answer that I can give you without repeating the whole thing. Let me know if you have a follow-up question or if that helped. So again, you're doing yourself a huge disservice if you're not tracking because you are at a loss. You would not know where these issues lie or lay. You will not know what's going on, and you certainly wouldn't know how to fix them. I'm always saying that, okay, you can diagnose me with something all day long, whatever. That's just a word, it's just a label that you're giving me. I need to know how to change it. I want to know how to fix it. Okay. I want to know what I'm doing right, what I may be doing wrong, what can I be doing better? How can I get this thing working again? Certainly if you're someone who has secondary infertility, you knew my period and my cycle worked just fine. That time I had that one baby, but those other babies, what happened now? What all of a sudden changed? I was fine. I could get pregnant. Why can't I get pregnant now? Again, same issue with me. Had almost a perfect pregnancy. What happened? So yeah, you can see if you don't ovulate or if you do ovulate or if your luteal phase is too short. And again, all these things are reflecting what's going on with your fertility hormones. What's going on with your fertility hormones reflects what's going on with your health, what's going on with your habits, your nutrition. How well are you sleeping and eating? What's your digestion like? How's your liver health? All these whole body things that I'm always talking about. It's kind of like a zoom kind of thing. Cycle tracking, fertility hormones, lifestyle, habits. And of course, this is where we are going to live, fixing all these things to kind of trickle down, get your cycle back, get your egg health back. A healthy cycle is the only way to a natural pregnancy, and a healthy body is a fertile body. So we need to make those things work, okay? So you see where I'm saying, like, obviously, in conclusion, track your cycles today. Start today. And I hope I gave you a little bit of information of like how to do that a little more easily. It is I don't want to give that energy and say it's confusing. It's not confusing. It's new. It's new and it's different and it can be a lot. And you're forced to use this app with these buttons and you got to click all these things. But it really is simple. But sometimes simple things can be hard. It's very simple once you know. Remember when you're in school learning algebra and calculus, all this stuff? It's like, oh, once you got the formula, I can do this. Or at least that's how it was for me. I kind of like math. But you just need the formula. Okay, you need the recipe, right? Anything can be difficult. Someone can make a 10-layer cake and you're like, girl, but if they write it down for you, you could probably do it. Okay. And you can't fix anything if you don't know what to fix. And you won't know what to fix if you don't track it, if you don't assess it, right? You can't change what you can't manage. And you can't manage this alone. You can't just go out there guessing. We need to stop that. Whoever told us we should just go out there and just start trying. For most of us, that's not going to cut it, right? You might get lucky. Don't get me wrong. You might get lucky and time it right. But even that, like if you want to I just got married and we want to start a family and have a baby, you need to be tracking. Not saying that you have low fertility, but even that girl needs to track because you can only get 25% of the time this pregnancy is successful, and that's in a healthy couple. Only 25% of the time, right? It's like this intricate thing that needs to be managed, right? So all of these things are in your power, in your control. So if you are someone who is lost and feeling like, WTF, this whole getting pregnant thing is a struggle. I've been trying for this long. I've had this many losses. I don't know what's going on. And you're not tracking your cycle. Again, you're leaving. It's like the saying, leaving money on the table. That kind of, flip that around and make it apply to this. It's right there and it's free. It's free to you. You don't have to go to a doctor's office. You can do this every single day. It's in the palm of your hands, literally on your phone, if you want it to be. And you can radically change your fertility, but you have to know what to change first. Am I not ovulating? Am I ovulating but the egg isn't healthy? Is my luteal phase messed up? my uterine lining not thick enough? All these things are, all this information is available in your cycle, but you must track it to take advantage. So that is all. That is it. Let me know if you have any questions. I've talked myself up into a frenzy, but I will be saving this on my Instagram feed. And like always, I grab this and double record, and I'll save it to my YouTube channel, Moon Catching with Erica. But DM me if you have any questions, if you have any concerns. But I do want you to know that I will be having I want to be able to offer you all like a more extended version of this. So I want to offer a free workshop to at least up to 5 women. I think I can squeeze 5 women in so I can make sure I answer questions and stuff like that. So a free workshop, maybe even as early as this weekend. And we can dive into cycle tracking. You can share your chart with me if you're tracking. I can share, some examples. I can even share my chart, my old chart. I mean, I'm not cycling now, but my old chart, and show you all what I'm talking about. These are the issues that I was having, and this is what I had to fix. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Send me a DM. I'm only going to take 5 women into the workshop. It's going to be free, so just come if you can. DM me or DM me. Send me a DM and let me know that you're interested in the cycle tracking workshop, and I'll give you all the details. And like I said, be sure to grab the Temp drop if you're interested while it's still on sale. I checked this morning at like 6 a.m. and the banner still said, Valentine's Day sale. So add the code Moon Catching to get an even deeper discount. But again, this is the program that I offer to my clients. I track their cycles with them. I chart with them. I show them, or go over their charts with them, and I show them what's going on, right? Because you need to be able to map it all out. And even in the program, we do a cycle map, basically a map of each and every single day of your hormones, not just your cervical mucus and your BBT, of your estrogen and your progesterone. So you can see the highs and the lows, the rises and the falls, and where all those things are causing issues with your egg health, with your body being able to hold on to a pregnancy, like early miscarriage, those type of things. So all this is included in the Make Every Egg Count program, because it is invaluable. Because again, you can't change what you don't know. So you need to know what is going on, right? It's all about the info, and finding the why of the why. So if you want to know more about cycle tracking and you want to join the workshop, again, hit me up, send me a DM, and let me know. And if you are already kind of thinking about joining the fertility program, the application is available in my link tree, or you can just go to my website, mooncatching.com, and hit services, and then hit Make Every Egg Count, and you can read about the program and apply, and then I can contact you afterwards to see if we are a good fit and if this is going to work for us. So as always, let me know if you have any questions, if you need anything from me. I hope this was helpful. I think I may have helped somebody. She seemed like she kind of had an aha moment. But if you want even more details about the hows and the whys and the whats, because you can even track your cervical position, let me know and we will do a detailed workshop together. So that is all that I have. Thank you very much for joining me. And I'll be back tomorrow, actually, because I have another video for you all. So thank you for watching live, or thank you for watching the replay. And I will see you next time. Bye.